Former President Donald Trump is furious over recent reports of classified documents being found in a private office once used by Vice President Joe Biden, at the time Vice President, who is now President. In fact, he has called on the FBI to raid Joe Biden's house. Yes, that's right. Raid his house. Now, let's give you some details here before going to the statement. According to a new report from Politico, classified documents from the time when Biden was serving as Barack Obama's vice president have been found at a Washington think tank that he had sometimes used as an office space, the White House said on Monday. In response to that report, Trump said this: "When is the FBI going to raid the many homes of Joe Biden? Perhaps even the White House. These documents were definitely not declassified." Okay. The guy's ridiculous. As usual, right? I'm surprised that this actually wasn't put out on True Social.
Truth, essential.
No, it was an actual statement. It's like, no. Get this. Okay, I need you to put out an official statement. It needs to be like in a press release or something. Okay, that the FBI needs to raid Joe Biden and his many homes. Okay, but all right. So, look, why don't we get into the details, into the documents, what we know, what's known about this, and we'll go and do a comparison between Trump and Biden and their handling of classified materials. So, now, the report first says that lawyers for Biden had discovered the documents last November while clearing out the office space and handed them over to the National Archives, which handles all such materials. This is according to Biden's special counsel, Richard Sauber. He added, the White House is cooperating with the National Archives and the Department of Justice. Well, okay. That pretty much should be it. Cooperating. Now, look, to be fair, questions, right? We've got questions. How many documents were we talking about? Where were they located? Okay. And were they securely stored in that location? Important questions. Again, you do want to make sure that any classified documents are located in a proper place, proper storage, protected from prying eyes. Makes sense, right? Well, for the first question, Sauber described this as a small number of documents with classified markings that were found at the Penn Biden Center, a think tank affiliated with the University of Pennsylvania. About 10 documents were found in all. Sources told CNN that the materials included top secret files with the sensitive compartmented information designation. Aha! Oh, okay. Wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Republicans right now. Got him on what? Okay. Got him on what? For one, let me point out some things here. Obviously, they were not at Biden's personal residence. So I'm going to ask Trump, why would you raid his house? Is there any evidence of any additional classified documents at any one of Biden's homes? No. So, and look, the FBI, by the way, the FBI didn't raid Trump's residence until someone inside had tipped them off that Trump still had top secret documents that the National Archives had been trying for months and months to get back, and asked very, very nicely. And this is after several times where Trump's like, we gave you everything that we have. We don't have anything else. We've returned everything. We have cooperated 100% fully. Okay, anyway, again, what about the actual location of the documents in Biden's old office? The question there is, could anyone go in and find them and just take a look? No. Turns out they were in a secure closet. Now, look, did they belong to the National Archive? Yes, of course, which they are now at. But before they were there, They were in a secure closet. So, of course, the next obvious question there is, did anyone have access to that closet? I don't know. I actually don't have that information. I don't know who else had access. Obviously, Biden's lawyers did. So now, what were the documents? According to a source familiar with the matter, they contained intelligence memos that had covered topics including Ukraine, Iran, and the United Kingdom. Interesting. Biden and his legal team said that they did not know what classified documents were found at his private office. Look, here's the thing about that. It doesn't matter. I don't necessarily believe him, mainly for the point that it's embarrassing, given the context of being Trump investigate. And of course, here you have all the MAGA supporters, all right wing, saying, "Oh, we got him." And he's like, "Oh, I don't know, I don't remember." And maybe he doesn't remember. Okay, sure. I just know that it's embarrassing. And politicians in the government do not like to be embarrassed. I don't care, though. It's not really that important. The real important question here is, did Biden break any laws in the handling of classified materials? Well, let's look at how side documents are handled. That designation means that they should only be read in a secure facility by those with proper security clearance. He was vice president at the time. Okay. So now the other question is, was this a place where you could read those documents? Yeah, it turns out, yes, you could actually read those documents there. And why? How does that work? Well, the SCI is, again, sensitive compartmented information. And you can set up a facility that can either be permanent or temporary. And you can set it up basically anywhere you want to. Examples of that would be the Situation Room in the White House. You could set up an SCI there. You could even do it on board a ship. You could do it in a private residence of an official. You can do it in a hotel room. You can do it basically anywhere else where it's necessary. And that's it. Okay. Now, you might point to saying, so private residence, huh? Is that a private residence? Yes, of course. And as long as you follow the certain guidelines that are set up to create a secure facility, you can read the documents in the secure facility, and that's totally fine. In fact, you have several different examples. You had George W. Bush setting up his own at his ranch. You had Secretary of State Hillary Clinton setting up one up in her Washington, D.C. home. And Donald Trump had them set up at both the Trump Tower in New York and his Mar-a-Lago resort. So yes, at one time, Mar-a-Lago was considered an SCI. And that was totally fine when he was president of the United States. And then the issue arises when Trump was no longer president. According to a CIA official, a former president might receive access to limited classified material after leaving office to assist with writing memoirs or at the discretion of the current president. But a formal security clearance isn't involved because a former president no longer has formal security clearance. And again, let me just note that, honestly, the rules are pretty lax for former presidents because they were presidents and they had access to this material before. That said, you have to be a royal F-up in order to get in trouble for this. And that's exactly what happened with Donald Trump. He F'd up. Again, Trump was asked numerous times to return the materials that did not belong to him. He then claimed that he did. And then they found out, no, you didn't. You were lying about this. Your lawyers signed off on this when there were still documents there because we found out because someone inside of Mar-a-Lago told us that you still had stuff. Either you knew you had it and you lied about it, or you're an idiot. Or maybe both. Now, as for these documents, and there's another difference here. So, for example, the National Archives knew that there were documents that Trump hadn't given them yet. And so they were like, hey, can you give us the documents? Hey, Mr. Trump, it's been a while. This is the National Archives. We'd really like those documents back. I mean, if you could just send those out, we'd really, really appreciate it. Hey, it's the National Archives again, Mr. Trump. We're just following up on those documents. We've called last couple of months now. We really like those documents back. You said you were going to give them to us. So, please send it back. But this one, the report noted that the documents were not subject to any previous request or inquiry. So this was a big surprise to everyone. And since handing them over, Biden's attorneys have cooperated to ensure that any Obama-Biden administration records were appropriately in the possession of the archives. So understand the difference here. The Biden team, Biden lawyers, they're cleaning out an old office. They're like, oh, crap. We still have documents here from when Biden was vice president. Shit, we ought to return these. And then they did. Okay. Now, if Donald Trump had done the same thing, oh, crap. I got documents here. They don't belong to me. I got to give them back. Then he wouldn't be in trouble. There wouldn't be an investigation. We wouldn't be talking about this because he would have done what he was supposed to have done. He wouldn't be under investigation by the Justice Department for obstruction or the Espionage Act. But he just couldn't do a very, very simple thing. Couldn't do it. Now, that said, since Trump is under investigation and since MAGA is so incredibly touchy, this discovery had, and this is what's sad about this, right? This has put the Biden team in a panic. Wait, why? Why? Again, I told you the situation. I broke it down. Okay, and so it's not a big deal. This seems to happen all the time. Yes, I know. It's weird to think about it. Like, oh, are you telling me that the government, that members of the government routinely misplace and do this to classified material? Yeah, it turns out they do. Okay. But then as soon as they found out that they had a mistake, they remedied it. They fixed it. They didn't sit there and lie about it and say, actually, no, I declassified them ahead of time with my brain without telling anybody. What's the point? Just return the documents and you would be fine. But he didn't do that. They refused to do that. And so now, look, unfortunately with Democrats, you have the overreaction of, oh my God, I'm sorry. Now Fox News is going to attack me. In fact, CBS News has reported that Attorney General Merrick Garland has assigned the U.S. Attorney in Chicago to review the documents, and now the FBI is investigating. But why? What's the point? All right, fine. Look, you want to do an investigation. Here's what you're going to find. They found documents. They took the proper action, turned it over, and everything's good. You happy? What's the issue? Look, I'm not the biggest Joe Biden fan in the world, okay? You can just go back to some of my incredibly harsh criticisms of him during the Democratic primaries, all right? And look, the reason I put a lot of that aside is because, number one, I'm there to defeat the fascists from the far right. But yes, I have issues with the Biden administration. I have issues with Biden. I don't think he's to the left enough. I don't think he's progressive. But you could disagree with me on that. But this is a nothing. It's like a nothing burger. That's what it is. It seems pretty standard here. All right. Okay, you want to do an investigation? Totally fine. Sure, do the investigation. Waste time. Who cares? Whatever. They're going to cooperate because this is standard. the fact that Donald Trump did not cooperate and lied over and over and over again. That's where the problem is. It's really, really simple. So for Trump's calls and the right wing say, gotcha. No, they're butthurt. Donald Trump created this problem for himself, and he's just mad that he has to face consequences because he didn't do the right thing. He didn't do what he was supposed to, didn't follow the rules because he seems to be incapable of them.